Maokai taken off the table. Keep in mind, as we go through this pick and ban phase, Wadid himself, in the interview after their win the other day, said, well, we're going to see something mechanically heavy out of him because he has Korean mechanics, right? He said that in his own words.
I mean, he also tweeted at me this morning something about Vayne, so I'm like, all right, let's see it.
We'll see. Okay, so as you said, standard bans coming through. Zac, Maokai. I'm going to take this part seriously. There we go. Okay, the wheels have come off already. Fiddlesticks has been banned. Of course, solo queue jungler has been tearing things up a lot. And Misfits stick to it.
Oh! All right, off the bat, it's time for the League of Draven, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so Hjarnan, I mean, you give the man a hyper carry and he can take a game.
Handsama's annoyed. They're in his head already.
They did take his carry away from him.
Maxlore now has to try and figure out what the first thing is. Misfits are confused at this point. They were like banking on Draven for themselves. So Draven first pick comes through.
Don't do it, PoE, come on.
Of course, is one of Hansama's big takeaways. PowerOfEvil drafts Orianna.
Wow, the crowd is booing.
But hang on, don't boo him because it might be like teleport, smite, Orianna. We don't have Rune Glaive available anymore. We'll see how seriously Misfits take the rest of this. So what can Draven do? You know, it used to be that Draven would dominate the laning phase. Still has a decent laning phase. If you build lethality, you have a lot of damage that comes out against squishies. But it's about stacking up all of that, you know, the adoration stacks.
And cashing them all in.
Cashing them all in. You end up buying a BF sword.
Oh, okay. All right, so Misfits, they may have locked in the Kalista alongside the Ori, but ROCCAT, no time spent thinking about this one. They just lock in the Lee Sin, follow it up with a Nunu. So, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's mid lane?
By the way Pridestalker reacts, I actually think he has to play Nunu this game. Pridestalker's head was in his hands. I think they may even be picking for each other at this point. We'll see how that ends up going. Of course, Nunu has the Blood Boil, which is great. Maybe if they can find ways to get Ardent Sensor proc through as well. It's not quite as easy. We might see the barrier heal support AD.
I want to see him just go like full AP jungle then. Like none of the tanky nonsense. All right, we're into ban phase 2. Of course, Kled was locked in for Misfits. And now there's Gnar off the board, followed by the Xayah. So at least that makes sense. So the
somewhat blind pick, the Kled here. I don't think it'll be Nunu top lane, but of course, long time ago in the 1v1, the old Soaz versus Wicked 1v1 that happened. That was
take us back a little bit.
A solo lane. Yeah, I don't think it's really going to happen at this point. We have seen Nunu a little in competition, in challenges specifically, around the jungle. Good zone control, good buffs for the AD carry, and great farm as always.
Absolutely. Now the Diana's banned. Okay. Is there anything? Does that spell anything?
XD.
Of course it does.
There's a polite clap from the audience.
Yeah, well done, ROCCAT. Okay, it's over to Misfits, and we got the Kayle locked in.
Okay, I think I know where this is going.
It's gonna be like Orianna support or something.
No. Okay.
Whoa! Deficio might have ruined it, but we got it.
Well,
spoilers.
Hjarnan is the solo queue top lane Heimerdinger player, and there is one more pick to be locked in. I'm gonna let it lock alongside this Kayle and then explain it later, because I think the audience may explode even greater than the Heimerdinger if it comes out.
All right, we got the Ekko. Yeah, you got some explaining to do. We can save maybe that for in-game. Misfits, one last chance. You can one-up these guys. I don't know if you can.
So at this point...
okay.
There it is.
All right, I'll give you the clap.
Master Yi jungle, Kayle top lane.
I don't know why I'm running these down anymore. Forget about it.
I had a conversation with Vedius that was explaining this as a solo queue strategy where you got Ardent Sensor on Kayle from the top lane, and the Master Yi just basically sits top side of the map and just wreaks havoc on everybody. Looks like it's a Kled support. There's some of those Korean mechanics in the bottom lane with the Lee Sin support coming out from ROCCAT. Some pretty interesting stuff. See where ROCCAT's composition ends up falling, because currently we've got Draven in the jungle.
Yes.
But I know, in fact, ROCCAT will swap up their positions as we go into game. This is likely to be the Heimerdinger in the top lane for Hjarnan.
Oh boy. This is going to be one hell of a fun match here in Week 10 when the compositions are made up and the builds do not matter. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Week 10 of the European LCS with the playoffs all locked and nothing but pride on the line. We get to see Misfits facing off against ROCCAT. And no, your eyes are not deceiving you. This is not an ARAM, but it might turn into one.
I get the feeling here PowerOfEvil thinks his Nash's Tooth build is so unorthodox that it fits in this game at this point.
I mean, he does have Smite.
He Does he actually?
He has Smite.
He actually has Smite. He's playing Smite Orianna. Okay.
All right, this is going to be good. All right, well, the crowd is hyped. You guys should be at home. You ever want to see some unpredictable League of Legends? Well, you are about to have a treat. Let's load up onto the Rift and find out what these two teams can make of their champions as we get into game one between ROCCAT and Misfits.
So, hang on. What's happening here is Wadid has Smite too. So I think Wadid is jungling up against Maxlore.
Oh, well, let's see where they go.
Hjarnan is top lane. Phaxi might be mid with Pridestalker and Betsy in the bottom lane. Welcome to the EU LCS.
Okay, so it's an early invade here. I feel like the moral victory belongs to whoever gets first blood on this.
Misfits
level
yelling.
One. They're just running at it right now. Okay, here we go. The ball comes in. There goes IgNar. They're pulling him back, but he's going charging all the same. Popped off a Scarl. Minions aren't even up yet, and it looks like we were almost in for first blood, but IgNar blew flash.
Nothing yet. Just look like just the turret kills for now. Okay, so we'll break down some of the bits in this, but this is going to be a very fun matchup overall. So, Heimerdinger got changed a little while back, that you now get the turrets earlier on in the game. We've seen Hjarnan in solo queue, maxing the queue, gets damage. So Heimerdinger is really good at holding a lane and then pushing it using the towers, but he's really bad at staying alive while doing that. So if they don't ward for him, up against Kayle and Master Yi, raise your dongers.
Well, put it in this man's hands and he will do it. Now remember, Heimerdinger has been played before in the European LCS, but we have to, I'm going to pull a medic here. Cast your mind back, Stress, all the way to 2014. A young man on the Copenhagen Wolves named Youngbuck. And it did not end very well for him when he played that champion. That was back in spring. So, well, let's see if Hjarnan can top that performance.
Hjarnan and Youngbuck apparently members of the Dong squad, but at this point, for ROCCAT, we'll see how Hjarnan can do. This is one of the picks he's been playing in solo queue, known for. Didn't go very well the other day when he played it. Ended up dying like 13 times on it, looking at his pro builds. So
we are talking about solo queue. This is what this has come to.
But the build he does is Morello's into Zhonya's. We'll see whether that's in fact the way. He's going to have to handle this Kayle up in the top speed. Note the Wind Speaker's Blessing on Kayle as well. You can see in the top right-hand side. Laning presence probably not going to be existent on this Kayle either.
There is a lot to unpack here as well. You could look at every single lane. Also, Hansama, he's taken a page from the LCK earlier today.
From Kramer.
The Relic Shield. That did not work well for Kramer.
It didn't. There's some stuff in there. Phaxi, this is not going well for either. Wadid's here.
He's got double buffs.
Got the mechanics.
He's going to flash. He does have those mechanics indeed. He's just waiting for that Sonic Wave. He sent it. PowerOfEvil under the tower. Wadid does not have the damage. And a teleport is coming in. I don't know who. Is it Hans or IgNar?
It's Kled. It's Kled.
Okay, it's IgNar.
It's IgNar. Of course, Kled's TPing into mid lane from bottom lane. Why wouldn't he be Pyro? This is
okay, I was wrong. This is actually an ARAM.
If you've been missing the EU LCS all season, and this is your first time tuning in, this is completely standard. Hansama, however, getting killed under the tower.
Oh, no, he's under the tower. The It's first blood from Pridestalker. And how about bruising your pride there? Killed by your favorite champion.
That's rough.
That's
rough.
For him,
Pridestalker, you know, getting that early cash-in on the Draven. IgNar TP'd out of lane. That's a problem. IgNar was like, I'm just going. Don't worry, we're going to play the standard. This is what happens.
It's betrayal, man.
I can't believe.
Okay. All right. Maxlore's into the mid. Oh, flash and Alpha Strike in. Maxlore turning it on to Phaxi. Nowhere for him to go. All right, we 1-1 in kills. Things are heating up here.
Well, this is the start of the snowball here for the Master Yi. First kill on the board. We'll see how this game continues to go. Of course, that Kayle, when we get into team fights, you can get the ultimate on the Yi as well to make sure that in between Alpha Strikes, he doesn't end up dying.
Yeah.
Plus, you got the Wind Speaker's Blessing, you go Ardent Sensor super early. Basically, Master Yi on like half an item is going to kill everything.
I really applaud you for analyzing this game. I don't know how you do it.
Well, Vedius gave me a little bit of a heads up on this strategy, which is good.
It's teamwork. It's okay.
Yeah, it's teamwork. It's nice.
All right, Wadid's waiting, by the way. He is looking to punish Maxlore if he steps forward, but he get a little impatient. That's a level 4, level 5 difference, and Maxlore spotted him. Maybe he goes up for Alphari instead.
The Kayle, remember, no mana at this point.
The legendary Heimerdinger tower dive. The grenade's up, but no, we gotta check in with the bottom. Hansama's dying again, but it's Betsy who gets the kill. And Alphari lives up top.
Yeah, Maxlore comes in for the defense. You don't want to trade against this Master Yi at this point. No. Still has a lot of damage.
But he's pushing on those turrets. Those things are deadly.
Didn't even get hurt on this. It looks like maybe Hjarnan took the brunt of the damage. So you were trying to talk a little bit about bot lane. I'm going to go to the top side for now because it looks like we've got another play coming through. But I don't know whether you actually want to dive this.
He might.
Unless they hit the stun. If they get the stun on Alphari, they can chain into Phaxi's stun.
They need to push the mini wave in here. Alphari, there's the grenade. Okay, they've got the stun. That's a lot of damage. Phase dive is incoming. He sends out the Time Wander, but he's taking damage all the same. Maxlore, he's trying to heal himself up. Hjarnan not fully committing. That tower nearly dead down at the bottom. They should be able to do it. In fact, they want to go for it. Wadid's going to be able to get the finishing blow. Pridestalker, he wants to do the 1v1, but he can't in the 2v2. Betsy getting pulled back in now, and it looks like Misfits lose the tower, but get the kills.
Alphari died, Maxlore died, Betsy died, five people just died. Okay.
Man, speaking of going back to 2014, it's like I'm casting the LPL again. This is great.
Oh, don't use that the aggression word.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was back when the meme was fresh.
Was fresh. Well, this game's quite fresh right now.
Yeah, 4-4.
We're going to have a replay. I don't exactly know where we're replaying on this. So, this is the top lane that they locked down Alphari. Remember, Heimerdinger, we said very good at pushing, great at pushing. Ekko, normally good at tower diving, but you've got to hit level 6 first. That's normally the first place you go on that. Still before the ultimate of Alphari easily gets taken out.
Ah, there we go.
Ooh,
that was sick, though.
Read the Alpha Strike where he's coming back down. Of course, you return to the first target if you don't kill the first target on it.
I feel like Pridestalker might have gotten that kill if he didn't finish the tower, but he would have been tanking the tower, so I don't know anymore. Worth at that point. All right, so let's actually check in where we're at in the game right now, because ROCCAT have a whopping 700 gold lead. This could be huge. You've got a Draven that can snowball. I don't know if Misfits can come back from this one stress.
They have a 2-1 Master Yi. Have you ever played up against a Master Yi in solo queue that gets fed 2 kills?
You know my ranking. How often do you think that must happen?
That's true.
Yeah. All right, stand aside. But IgNar won't. Pulls him back in. Maxlore incoming.
Here we go. Like, here's the third kill.
Just decides to turn. Easy. That's going to be another one. And now Maxlore with the third. Oh, he's well on his way to hyper-carrying.
At this point, this composition may as well be called God Save the King, because you got the Kayle here, you got the PowerOfEvil. He's going to be able to shield out. And then Maxlore's just going to carry the game. King Maxlore.
Well, hold on. I don't know if you want to do that. That might just jinx Misfits' chances. ROCCAT are the Kingslayers after all.
That is true. Oh, that's a good point.
And we saw what they've beaten the old and the new. They can also beat the bunnies. We'll find out. But
next time it's something borrowed, something blue at this point.
All right,
oh,
we're pick up, but it's an intervention. Wadid. Meanwhile, we've got PowerOfEvil and Phaxi trading it out right now. Shockwave going to pull him back in, and it's IgNar who goes charging, looking for the Heimerdinger grenade. Is not going to land, but Wadid, he's going to be in trouble. Dashes out, followed through Alpha Strike, a few more ticks of damage.
He didn't get the initial strike onto Wadid, so it doesn't allow him to stay on Wadid. It actually goes back to that first minion.
That's the mechanics right there, man.
But look, we've already got the Blood Razor at this point as the first item completed for Maxlore. We're on the way.
About that now. Oh, stunned up, PowerOfEvil. Betsy and Phaxi, gang squad incoming. One more auto attack, and Phaxi takes him down with the baseball bat.
Yeah, PowerOfEvil doesn't have a defensive summoner because he's running Smite, which
I hope
was
that
on
comes
cooldown.
in handy.
But look, he's using the Smite to get a CS advantage. He's got red Smite as well, so neutralize some of that damage, get a little bit more for himself. And Misfits just won the game.
Yeah, they built the best item.
They got it.
That has ever been or ever will be.
Greatest
sensor
item.
The win condition is fulfilled. So what, I mean, do they even need to play this out anymore?
Yeah, because the problem is Heimerdinger is just going to push one side. I guess so. Skyen might be right.
That's a good point. Actually, I hadn't really considered that, but now we know.
We do know. Oh, the gank set up already.
The Blastcone Express is not always where you want to be taking it. There's a heal coming out from the Kayle, but in comes PowerOfEvil. They're baiting it out. He's got the intervention. Now Betsy gets turned on. Maxlore finding the first kill. Alphari trying to get out of there, but the axes come in. All the same, a double kill over to Maxlore. God save the king indeed. Phaxi flashing away, but Maxlore, he's going to follow through. 1-shot, 2-shot, 3-shot. Lightsabers are quite potent, it would appear, and Maxlore even has time to style.
Well, Maxlore for a moment there went to the dark side, and certainly at that point there's a lot of anger and hate from Maxlore on that exchange. So, manages to survive thanks to the fact that Alphari comes along. British synergy here. keeping the Union together, Wales and England working at the same time. Still working with the rest of the continent, though, so that's great to see. Love to see that one on this, but he is enacting revenge on the rest of ROCCAT at this point. And this game has too much Dignitas for my liking that we're one Baron throw away because, not related, Dignitas used to play Master Yi. With Kennen
we're really
and Ash.
going way back.
It was in an MLG, and between Skara and Cutie Pie and the rest of the team, they came up with this strategy where you'd build AP Yi, because back then Yi used to have AP scaling.
Yeah,
and
you would meditate and like literally also never die, right?
You'd have AP scaling as well, and what would happen is you'd fire an Ash arrow at somebody. As long as you got one kill, you would just chain through the rest of the fight. So basically, that's what Misfits are going to try and do. As soon as you get one kill, you can basically take over the entire fight from Misfits. But only a Baron throw would make this game
I think
like
we're
that.
still at least 10 minutes out from that happening. Oh, snapback. Phaxi trying to stay alive. Maxlore looking at the chase. Nice SKT swag there, but will he be able to stay alive? No, Alphari with the slow, and it's Maxlore with his 7th kill of the game.
Oh,
He's off to trot, man.
Padding his stats. If you have Maxlore in Fantasy, congratulations, you already won your game.
Yeah.
We're 11 minutes in.
All right, I have to eat my words. I mean, Maxlore, we talked about how this split, Misfits didn't necessarily see as much growth as they wanted to, and maybe Maxlore is part of that. Well, if he plays like this every game, all they need to do is pick Master Yi.
Devin, we've been asking for them to find a second carry. I think we found one.
Yeah, that's the answer. All right. Well, this is a great composition so far from Misfits. Has not lost yet. Shockwave pulling in. Pridestalker, absolute zero, but it's gonna be Wadid that ends up deleting PowerOfEvil. IgNar getting collapsed on, and the rest of ROCCAT have said, we have had enough. Let's run it down the mid lane.
Of course, the Misfits strategy falls apart. Grab's happy with this, even up against the circus at this point, managing to turn things back around, getting a tower in the mid lane for themselves.
Now we'll see if it ends up being more than just peanuts for the ROCCAT squad. Remember, this is the clear weakness of this composition stress. When Maxlore isn't there, you can't do anything.
That's fair. When you do have a 7-1 Yi, and Yi doesn't participate in a defensive
insists on splitting bot. I hate when players do that.
This is going to be exactly like solo queue. Kayle has even built Sightstones. This is the engage out of Misfits. PowerOfEvil is trying the next evolution of Nash's Tooth in that he's apparently going full on hit at this point.
I am so disappointed he didn't just pick the Lux.
That's for game 2, Pyro. Remember, we're best of 3.
Sorry. I leaked the spoiler.
Yeah.
My bad. Okay. Learn my lesson. Never again. See? Oh, that's the blast cone you want. Now, the thing is, you can probably still chase him. Oh, choose wisely. Oh, wait, stealth back.
No, he
stealth
can't.
Back. Stealth back. Maxlore.
They're going to find him.
Maxlore.
He used the force.
Wait. Oh, he's out. What? Oh, what a god.
Oh, wow.
That is a great... I wonder if he's running... Oh, boy. Oh, what a... Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right, Maxlore. Take your frustration out of it.
So the reason is because it doesn't apply damage until right at the end of the Alpha Strike animation, and of course the back process, if you don't get hit, let me explain this a little clearer. If you don't get hit until 0.1 of a second before you recall, that's the safe period. You recall out.
You have a tiny window where you can just be like...
Yep, exactly. It got normalized down from like 0.25 of a second to like 0.1.
So it's actually even harder to pull that off. But well done to Phaxi. Okay, 9-9 in kills currently. ROCCAT still with that lead, but here we go. We get to see this
slow-mo replay of this.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
He could have just walked up and actually auto it. It would have been better.
But there's a dragon there. Not anymore.
This game.
Hjarnan's going for the dive here.
He's trying to set it
brave. I don't know if that's what he should be. IgNar with the charge. Betsy on the absolute zero. Hjarnan getting jumped down, but in comes Wadid. Those mechanics are ridiculous, and Max is going to get shut down. Whoa, how about that for an upgrade?
They didn't get enough protection onto Maxlore. Alphari, he's still got his heal. You've got to throw everything. You've got to throw everything on Maxlore. It was a good disengage. I think Wadid actually kicked Maxlore by the look of it. I'm sure we'll get another replay of it. Yeah, finally putting another death on the tally.
7-2. Things are not looking hot for Max then. And you know what? We got Rift Carol on the menu.
We have. We've also got another Ardent Sensor coming through.
Whoa. 2? Oh, 1 on each team. Okay, cool. So now it's balanced.
Yeah. Now we're back at an even playing field. Nash's Tooth is in progress. It was actually the Runic Echoes that PowerOfEvil has gone for. So.
We should check in with some of the items that we expected, right? You talked about Morellonomicon being pretty key to the top lane Heimerdinger build, and so far, so good.
Yeah, so far so good. Heavily out-farming Alphari. Okay, so we get to have a look at the mechanics that Wadid was talking about all the way back in that interview the other day. Wadid waits for his opportunity as Misfits get baited in. Absolute Zero comes through. He didn't expect some of the damage coming from that. And then Wadid comes in, takes care of Maxlore with the Heimerdinger. And that's how you play it, ROCCAT. This is, I mean, this is fantastic out of them. Oh!
What a style move. Oh my goodness, yeah, and you got to see that damage he was dishing out. I feel like most of the Heimerdinger damage was that one shot from the giant turret.
I'm so happy we have Wadid in the EU LCS. He's become one of my favorite supports to watch.
I think he's become a lot of people's favorite supports to watch. What a fantastic player.
And also
showing off in the Lee Sin.
He like dabs and styles on people like that. Like, that's perfect.
That's really what we need more of in the European LCS. Betty's been trying, but his technique needs some work.
I am not a master of social media, so the fact that he changed his profile picture to a dab, I don't really have a comment on at that point for Vedi, but I'm sure Vedi has a lot to comment on this game as well, especially Maxlore Alphari, two of his favorite duos now actually working together entirely throughout the map.
Yeah, I mean, it's a totally evolved playstyle right now. It's great to see. I wonder if they can take any of this into playoffs.
I hope that's a rhetorical question. So we nearly got the rage played out for Maxlore as well.
The fact that you don't know tells me I've done my job well.
I suppose. Well is a subjective term at this point.
Very true, especially in this game. All right, Whirling Death is going to be tickling Hansama. Bear Trap on the rope.
They're still pushing on the bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, they're pushing in the mid, though. ROCCAT, they've got a lot of damage on this tower already. PoE is coming to the rescue, and it looks like we might have a base race on our hands.
That's not one that the Master Yi is going to win.
No, he's trying. Bless him, but he should have picked Tryndamere. Oh, wow, Rift Herald took out an inhibitor.
Yeah, now Rift Herald's still charging.
This is deep territory for the Rift Herald.
Now, there was an issue with Rift Herald before where sometimes Rift Herald would actually attack both Nexus towers, but look, Misfits are now actually trying to stop the backs, trying to stop Pridestalker, but look, on the bot lane, Maxlore and Alphari pushing it through.
They're doing it. These guys persevere, but Phaxi's come to the rescue.
You can't go in alone, Phaxi.
This would be very dangerous. He's not going to be alone. He's got backup, but so does
split the fare of the taxi.
Oh, Hjarnan, he's coming up. Okay. Looks like they took an Uber instead. Pay in advance, and they're getting out of town. Maxlore, IgNar, Alphari, they're all on the run, and it's a charging time.
Who's coming down.
Wadid is coming to try and collapse. They spotted him. For as crazy as this game has been, neither team has neglected to put their wards down, Stress.
I love that we're going to vision control in a completely ridiculous game.
Wait, he wards for the TP.
Yeah,
he's trying to play isolated right now. Phaxi's here.
Yeah.
Oh, now the game's up.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Betsy is coming in. Throws out the snowball. They target on Alphari. Intervention is there, and it's going to not be enough. Betsy with the finishing kill. IgNar by himself. And Maxlore said, see you later, guys. KDA is important.
Yeah, KDA player right now, Maxlore. That's not something he's known for, but could turn into that. Always a little bit of ego sometimes with the ego players that come through. But at this point, Maxlore, he's 7-2. But look, he actually is that Master Yi in solo queue now. That goes 7-2 and goes, I'm going to carry this game. The game is won. Everything is good. And then does nothing for the next 20 minutes. Tries to farm, tries to split push. Alphari used his ult on himself here, and Maxlore is just running away. There's no real way of Misfits actually turning that back around. You can see why Absolute Zero is actually kind of good in these team fights in the jungle. Why we see it sometimes run in actual games.
Well, the joke about it, that it just doesn't do damage, really comes from the fact that we're seeing all the Nunu jungles build tank, of course. But this is a very different kind of game.
Well,
He's got the best item in the game.
So it's not ARAM Nunu, which is full AP or bust.
No, but it's Ardent Sensor Nunu, which is still going to do more damage than full tank.
There you see Daku, realizing the game plan isn't quite going in their way. He's like, Hiva, come on, come up with something better for me. It's going to be something. I don't care what it is, just...
I mean, there are a lot of champions to choose from. Game number 2 is not going to be too far away. Now, you did make a prediction earlier on.
Okay, with the Baron throw.
With the Baron,
I'm ready.
If there will be a throw, it may just happen in 30 seconds.
Misfits have 2 smites and a rend. Surely they can't go wrong.
See, okay, the thing about multiple smites, like, it can be a bit of a double-edged sword, But I agree with you here. If you're able to hit those at the right moment, because they've also got the Kalista, they have the objective contesting power. I remember back in the day running a Pentasmite composition. It was hard for anyone to contest. For you.
Does a lightsaber have multiple edges or one edge?
We'll have to talk about that because it might just be double-edged. Stand aside. There's a shockwave. It's not going to go with it. Misfits are melting. Hjarnan is massive. Wadid showing those mechanics, and they don't show any sign of stopping. Only PowerOfEvil remains. I don't know about you, Stress. I don't think there will be a Baron throw. I think this is an easy take.
Not at this point. Oh, the CH3X Lightning Grenade, the upgraded version, bounces through the team fight. Beautiful by Hjarnan. Now you can see why he's been playing that Heimerdinger. That was beautiful. Whew. Watch for it.
Fantastic fight.
The upgraded Heimerdinger grenade would bounce multiple times. First one hits Hansama, the second one actually hits both PowerOfEvil and I think it was Alphari. IgNar was around there as well, and then from there the rest of the damage completely cleans up. Whew, that was beautiful.
Yeah. What a fantastic fight over in a matter of seconds. And yeah, PoE, we saw that shockwave.
You got the Nash's Tooth now.
He did get the Nash's Tooth.
That's normally the point where they win the game.
Yo, he's stolen Barons with a shockwave in the past. I feel like he's going to need to come up with something miraculous to keep this game alive. Obviously, we put a lot on Maxlore at the moment. I feel like the ROCCAT side are proving a little tough for the Misfits to handle.
Look at this. 307 Heimerdinger. 2 items completed with Baron buff and a Nunu and the rest of the team. Phaxi, he might die here, but he's got a Thorn Mail, man.
He's a little tankier now. Maxlore incoming for him. He tried to turn his attention for Alphari. Cannot be slowed. Unfortunately, it looks like that is the kill. ROCCAT, they're on the bottom, though.
Phaxi's ult was 2 seconds away from cooldown. Ooh. It just got off cooldown after he died.
That feels bad, man.
Yeah.
Up, shockwave. That's a big one. Now maybe PowerOfEvil's getting some redemption on that. Speaking of, ROCCAT have their health bars redeemed, and it looks like Hjarnan will live to pew-pew another day.
Yeah, the snow turret, the Snowmidinger turret was trying to do as much work as they could, but it wasn't quite enough. That was a good shockwave out of PowerOfEvil. Yeah, makes up for the one he missed.
I'd say it evens out, yeah. I mean, they still have Baron on ROCCAT's side, right? He needs a little bit more damage before he can delete people with shockwaves. What's the joke? Is it 2K elo or 200 elo? He's like 1800 right now.
Well, the old one was the 3K elo.
That's the one. Okay, so that's like when he has death cap, right?
It wasn't necessarily. It was kind of a mix of the damage and also the number of people it caught from Pharrell and Lord.
Yeah, of course. He's got one side of that. He needs more.
Okay, I get it. Yeah.
It's a two-step plan here, Stress.
Well, Misfits had the game plan to get to Worlds. I wonder whether this was part of it.
I mean, nobody expects a Master Yi.
No. Well,
not in the jungle.
It's been expected after it got into the game now, in the sense that it has done nothing in the last 10 minutes of the game.
He got another kill. He killed Phaxi.
Yeah, you got 1 kill. Okay, that's fair.
Maybe he can still save the day. Bear trap on the rope, finds Hjarnan. There's the big turret right now, and Phaxi's the one who goes a-diving. Tower already falls. The ball is there. It's threatening. Now they're going to pull in IgNar. Hansama pulls him right back out. Bear trap doesn't connect, though, this time. And he's popped off his Scarl. But Pridestalker already starts it off with a kill. Maxlore trying to clean house, but it's not going to happen. Hansama pulling the red stacks out. But I don't think he can stop this game from ending. Wadid, what an incredible set of mechanics right there, and you could see that Phaxi wanted to go in. Unfortunately, the mechanics weren't strong enough.
Nash's Tooth, right-click to win at this point for PowerOfEvil. You can't run away. Well, maybe if it had bought the slowing smite, they wouldn't be able to run away, but he wanted the extra damage.
Pridestalker's still here.
He's going to try and out-trade the AD carry.
Oh, one thing is certain in this base, death and axes. Pridestalker keeps on going right now. Hjarnan, Phaxi, and he are just moving on this base, but unfortunately for them, they might have overstayed their welcome. Down goes Phaxi. PowerOfEvil, yeah, that Nash's Tooth is paying dividends.
Death and axes, that's great. I appreciate that.
I mean, I definitely didn't steal that from everyone who's ever made a joke about Olaf, but yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair.
But it's okay, I appreciate the credit.
It's been a while.
Well, we haven't seen a Draven in a while either.
That's true. Sadly, I want to see Misfits playing the Draven. One of the champions we don't get to see a whole lot in competitive.
Oh, hold on a second. Maxlore. Oh, never mind. Oh, he wants Hjarnan.
Oh, he was trying to combo off the turret there. So back into the replay at that point. That was where Maxlore ends up dying, and he's going to die again.
Yeah. Oh, a lot of auto attacks.
Sorry, we were both very distracted by the picture-in-picture there.
PowerOfEvil. No, Alphari. Excuse me. PowerOfEvil's not in there. What am I talking about? Grenades? Autos, that's all they need. Oh, cash in. Hello, it's payday now for Pridestalker. IgNar, Hansama trying to keep this base alive. There's minions doing double time on the last Nexus turret. Phaxi going in, phase dive, look for Hansama. Exhaust, absolute zero! And they're not gonna get him, that's a big shockwave, but Hansama is still gonna be able to come up with one. He comes up with two, down goes Wadid. But Misfits still scattered to the winds here. Pridestalker still inside the base along with Phaxi and Hjarnan, and they turn their eyes towards the last inhibitor turret standing.
Base defense is going strong for Misfits. They're losing a couple of towers here and there, but it's okay. All they gotta do is win one fight, and they can be back in the game.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, but it's hard.
It is. Heimerdinger still hasn't died. That's the impressive thing. Remember, I said he's very good at pushing a lane, but not great at staying alive.
Well, check in with those builds.
Did a good job.
I mean, is that the prescribed strategy? We'll get back to it after we get to this replay.
For Hjarnan, it is. It is definitely the prescribed strategy. You can see he's not actually involved in the fight up on the top side. Again, another good shockwave out of PowerOfEvil.
Yeah.
As much as I would have liked to have seen the Lux, it is nice to see him hitting these shockwaves on the Orianna. Still a little kind of orthodox with, I guess, Smite. He wanted to harken back
to be fair,
his old days.
As much as people could rag on PowerOfEvil for playing things that are a little bit out there, I feel like the cheesiest thing he can do is just to play his normal stuff.
Well, it all gets nerfed on 7.16.
Oh, so this is the last
playing
hurrah.
his normal stuff, he's like, oh, okay. This is the time where I start to add other champions in. Go back to the AP Cogmore, bring out the Lux, maybe.
Well, he does have the death cap. I feel like he's going to be able to dish some damage here. Obviously, he was playing for that team fight with the Smite. Red Smite. Let's see, in goes charge. It's going to be Hjarnan that's targeted out. Shockwave, but he's going golden already. That one was not what you wanted, POE, and now it is a tag in, but it's going to be Phaxi that falls. First casualty of this fight. 4v5, though. ROCCAT still fancy their chances. Looking for Alphari. There is no redemption, no intervention. IgNar, Maxlore looking to chase down Betsy. Last inhibitor goes down. Mini rockets are flying. This Misfits base is in shambles, but they are hanging on for dear life.
Yeah, they basically got one more fight if Maxlore can actually clean up. He's had a good game through the early game. We got that snowball going. Unfortunately, the snowball's on the other side from Betsy, and the snow plow that is coming out from the Heimerdinger have been too much to contend with. It's not a whole lot of...
slowest point in the game we've had.
Not a whole lot to break down when it looks at...
All right.
Look,
we didn't have a Baron throw last time. Is this the time?
No, because Maxlore's in the bottom lane.
Oh.
Yep.
I mean, well, PowerOfEvil still got Smite.
He's also in the bottom lane.
Well, you guys done goofed. Baron number 2.
Misfits is trying to play on hard mode. For everybody that complained about autofill.
Yeah, by the way, play your role. You can play it in a way that people don't expect.
That's true.
Don't hold champ select hostage. It's not nice.
Also, I guess it's fine. Well, no, I can't say that. I'm not going to make any sweeping statements about things like Heimerdinger top lane. Or
I will.
support.
I will.
Oh, okay.
This is why you are the analyst.
That's fine.
Oh, uh-oh. Ooh, out of the brushes or out of the darkness.
I was about to touch on Singed support, but figured I wouldn't go there.
You know, it can work, but not very well, unfortunately. Shockwave only hits the minions. In goes the charge, looking for Wadid. Phaxi, though, he's the one getting targeted on despite Baron buff. No, it's backboard shut down.
Alphari
and now Misfits are out their primary carry in this game. In goes Wadid. Alphari flashing away, but he gets a kickback on a PoE all the same. Divine intervention, and Phaxi is not quite gonna fall. Not just yet. Not today. Pridestalker cashing in. That's one. That's two. He's looking for more. Those axes are starting to sting, and it looks like it's gonna be Nexus. 29 minutes, and this game has been all kinds of fun. ROCCAT putting it away, 1-0 on the series.
8-3-9 for Pridestalker's Draven. I feel like that was, let's see if you can do better, Misfits, in game 2.
Ooh, maybe they'll give it to Hansama.
Yeah, that's what I want to see.
Hey man, there is one champion in that game that was full of blood that did not die.
Yeah, only one.
Hjarnan's Heimerdinger.
Brought the donger out, and the donger just smacked around Misfits for a little bit there.
Yes, in fact it did. And hey, you know, there's a unique title you can get after a game just like that. Hjarnan is now the only one that can post a guide anywhere on the internet and say Heimerdinger 100% EU LCS win rate build.
Yeah, that's true, 100% right now. that goes down in history.
Absolutely.
That's the kind of record that he likes to set. We like to look at streaks. We like to look at stats. 4-0-10, hanging on the wall. Heimerdinger with the win. Now, that was only game 1 of this series.
I was just going to say, we could potentially have 2 more of games like that if Misfits are able to turn it around.
So I'm going to tongue-in-cheek completely blame Alphari for that last fight. No actual flame, just a bit of a joke. But there wasn't a divine
banter,
intervention.
Right? That's what you guys call it in the UK scene.
Sure, that's how it is. Didn't use a divine intervention, didn't save Maxlore.
He
don't know what happened there.
He tried to say PoE, and it was down.
But Maxlore had already died.
Oh, you mean before that?
Yeah.
Ah, yeah. It was hard to keep track of that fight.
That's true.
I mean, it's difficult, right? When somebody's getting deleted in less than the time that you can take to pop the ult, and I'll come to his defense and say maybe he couldn't quite get it off in time.
I feel like maybe it's something like Maxlore didn't make Alphari's cup of tea the way he liked it.
Say there's some
let it go
dissension in the
too
ranks.
cold, or whether it was teabag and then sugar and then milk, or whether it was milk first. Which
That's a capital offense where you come from, right?
Never do milk first in tea.
Gotcha.
So maybe that's why he didn't get the divine intervention at the end of it.
That's serious, man.
I mean, the whole strategy hinged on that.
Oh, well.
Completely hinged on it. And Alphari, 0 and 6 and 8. I mean, basically when he has no damage himself, he's like, okay, Maxlore, you carry the fight.
Yeah.
Also, a little bit of a reason why we don't see that type of thing actually in competitive play. A little bit too flimsy at the end.
It's kind of difficult to pull things off like that. Now, ROCCAT took down Misfits in a game filled with surprises. Let's get some insight from our analysts on the victory.
Thank you very much, Pyro. Yet another surprising upset win coming in from ROCCAT.
They keep doing it, man.
They have to keep doing it. They're so good. Deficio, now I want to look at picks and bans because we identified some critical errors on the side of Misfits, Deficio. And when we get this one up, I mean, I think it's clear what went wrong here, right? It's obvious what the mistake is from the side of Misfits, but I'm curious what your thoughts were, Deficio.
I mean, the problem for me is, first of all, they take Orianna early, which is not a comfort pick at all for their mid laner.
No.
So you make it very hard for PowerOfEvil.
What are you doing? Why are you laughing? This is a serious game in the LCS.
Yeah, but you laughed as well. The camera was just not at you. It's not me.
We try.
Man, we suck at this. This time we're not actors. We really want to do this serious and be like really mad at everyone for playing weird picks.
We made it 30 seconds, and I'm so proud of us for making it.
I never made it 30 seconds until now, so I'm still a little bit proud of my achievement. Let's see this game, though. Maxlore and Alphari tried to do their boosting strategy.
Yeah, so let's be clear here. We're referring to the Chinese ladder climbing
strategy.
The phrase, boosting, technically has nothing to do with boosting. But we're going to take some look at the replay. And what you guys need to keep in mind, if you're really bad, right, and your friend's really good at Master Yi, take Kayle top, build an Ardent Sensor, heal your Master Yi, and let him go.
And really one of the best things about this strategy specifically is both champions have 0 skill shots. So no matter how bad you are at aiming, you actually can't really mess up the combo. Now, obviously, you need a good Master Yi player. That is fair. But mechanically, it doesn't require that much to play. So everyone at home, being it, you know, a non-ranked player, a bronze player, a challenger player, like, you can do this if you have a friend to sign up with.
For 3 easy payments of $5.99.
I think all of you guys at home should do this. It will totally make solo queue a better place if everyone is trying to use the strategy.
I agree.
And I actually think it's guaranteed free wins.
And look at the man on your screen who you can thank for this, at Hussein Moosvi on Twitter. If you're experiencing any Kayle Master Yi, he has been the man who has brought it now into the meta. You can let him know. And of course, at the end of the day, unfortunately, we're in EU. So the Chinese strategy not working out for our European team. And we saw, I think, European dominance and even some Korean dominance coming in this game from Wadid with the classic surprise jungle swap.
Probably actually better Lee Sin than Pridestalker, which is not totally flaming Pridestalker because he's not a Lee Sin player. But that was actually very impressive from Wadid. He played so well in this game. And I also really want to talk about the Heimerdinger. Hjarnan, he's always playing it in solo queue. He's always feeding in solo queue with it. But on stage, the man delivers.
It's a stage pick. It's a stage
pick. He delivers. And yes, as the casters highlighted, 2014, Youngbuck did the same. You know what happened after he won 2 games on it? People perm-banned it. And then Riot nerfed it because they're like, no. Heimerdinger is not going to be a meta pick. And they killed it. Literally killed it until now.
Will Hjarnan also kill Heimerdinger?
There's a chance. He just won a game on Heimerdinger, and that normally means our live design team, they're kind of panicking, they're running around, crazy stuff happening, they're all yelling, how do we nerf this? And then Heimerdinger probably loses an ability, like just remove W or something.
That's some starting insight, but we can see exactly how well the Heimerdinger and the entire composition did as we look at the final fight coming out. And break this one down.
Final fight,
yeah, break this down for me there, Deficio.
Ooh, I mean,
what's the biggest thing that happened here?
When Maxlore runs in and just dies, it kind of falls apart. I believe Maxlore had every kill almost on his team at this point. He's Kayle with pure support items in Ardent Sensor, Mikhail's, and a Sightstone. Obviously, he's not here to carry. So either we can blame Maxlore, or we can blame the team for not protecting him. We need to pick one, A or B.
Let us know on Twitter at LOL Esports. Is it A, Maxlore's fault for losing, or B, Misfits' fault for not protecting him? We'll probably won't tally those votes up later today, but I'll check. We'll both check at the break. Not a whole lot left to say there, Deficio. But
no, I think just it's very impressive how ROCCAT are peaking at the right moment, taking down all the top teams in the EU LCS. And at this point, if ROCCAT made it into playoffs, they would win the EU LCS, but they just can't make it into playoffs.
True.
And that is kind of step one to winning EU LCS.
It's true. Well, at the end of the day, ROCCAT are looking to secure a gigantic victory against Misfits Gaming. We'll see if they can close out this thriller of a series when we return. Don't go anywhere. This may be the greatest series of all time.